The other night, my wife and I were sitting in the living room watching TV when she turns to me out of the blue and says, "You need to move out into the garage since you love it out there so much." Well, I was shocked at first, and then I lowered my head. Might have whimpered a little bit, maybe. And I did just that. But I couldn't just move into a garage. I need a bedroom. So I built one. Yeah, it's cool. But I think I should build a bathroom. Okay, so I do a lot of painting in my projects. And up till now, I would throw on my mask, pull out a piece of cardboard, and get to spraying. Unfortunately, that creates a big problem: overspray. Overspray gets everywhere, including on your projects, so that can result in a poor finish. So I decided to do something about it, and I built this paint booth that I could take apart and put back together when I need to. It's complete with ventilation and lighting. Let me show you how I built it. To copy this project, you will need about 17 10-foot pieces of PVC pipe. I used Schedule 10 to save a few bucks, but you can also use Schedule 40 just the same. I also used 2 rolls of 10-foot by 25-foot plastic sheeting. You can probably find a 2-pack for less than individual pricing. I used 3.5 mil, but if you want yours to be more durable, you can absolutely use 6 mil. Again, I just wanted to save a few bucks. You will also need 37 3/4 inch T fittings and 24 90-degree elbows. Look for the bulk packages to save here. Alternatively, you can use 3/4 inch 3-way fittings in the corners. The Home Depot I went to didn't have them, so I went about it differently. You will also need some PVC primer and glue, and Velcro sticky back coins. I found a pack of 75 at Michael's, which I got for $5.50 with a 50% off coupon. Although not required, just highly suggested, you can integrate a shop light and 2 box fan filters. If you haven't seen the video on how to make the box fan air filters, check it out here. Beginning with the back wall, I started with the top and bottom. The full length of the pipe is just over 10 foot, so I measured 5 feet from one end, then 5 feet from the other end, and marked the middle of the 2 marks. I cut the height of the left and right pieces to 7.5 feet. Then I measured and cut 6 inches from each end. Inserted a T-fitting on both ends, replaced the cut off pieces, and then added a 90-degree elbow to both ends. Make sure the T-fittings are facing the same direction and the 90-degree elbows are open 90 degrees from the T-fittings. I highly suggest you use primer and glue on these connections. I didn't, but I wish I did. Once the wall is complete, roll out the plastic sheeting along the width of the wall, not the length like I did here. I didn't really even think about this until editing this video, but since the width is longer than the height of the wall, you could save a lot of sheeting and perhaps get by with only using one roll of sheeting. I used duct tape to attach the sheeting to the wall. I found the duct tape was sticking great at first, but when I came out the next day, I found that the tape was releasing itself from the sheeting. So here's lesson 2. Attach the duct tape and then make a hole with an awl and wrap a zip tie around the pipe through the hole. The duct tape will help keep the plastic from tearing around the zip tie, which in turn will hopefully provide a longer lasting paint booth. With the back wall completed, I started the front wall, more specifically the front door. I wanted to provide an area in the door that I could put an air filter for intake ventilation. This helps the walls from sucking in too much while the outtake fans are going. For hinges, I added a T-fitting near the top and bottom of the door. The overall dimensions for the door are 81.5 inches by 24 inches. I built the front wall around the door. I started with the door frame and then the hinges. I added some grease to the hinges, but that didn't seem to help, so don't bother. Now with the front and back walls complete, the side walls will be much simpler. They will be 7.5 foot high by 5 foot wide. A T-fitting will be placed 6 inches from the end of each wall piece, and they will be orientated 180 degrees from the 90-degree elbows on the ends. For the roof, I decided to run 2 cross pieces from side to side. This will allow me to hang light pieces as well as add some bracing to the sheeting that will go across the top. I placed one brace in the middle of the wall and the other brace in between the center of the wall and the back side of the wall. I did that because I figured I'd be standing in the front half of the booth and I wanted the shop light to hang in that area. When applying the plastic sheeting to the left and right walls, leave excess on the right and left of the wall so that it can overlap the neighboring walls. At this point, all the walls were done. Now I want to dry fit and cut out the roof pieces. Now to cut out the area for the exhaust fans. I cut an X in the area and then thought it would be a good idea to attach the sides to the vertical braces. This turned out to be a bad idea in the end. On the open T fittings on the side walls, we need to glue in 2 inches of pipe. This keeps the walls easy to take apart and put back together. Then we'll need to glue the roof pieces to one of the walls. Don't glue them into both side walls, that will make it more difficult to store. I zip tied the flooring to one wall so it could be stored together. Then I put Velcro tabs attaching the floor to the other walls. So far, the Velcro seems to stick better than the duct tape, as none of them fell off yet. I flipped the whole thing over and repeated the steps for the top. I zip tied the roof to the front wall. I used some 550 cord, aka parachute cord, and created some loops for my shop light to hang on. Then I flipped the paint booth back over and installed the exhaust fans. The flaps that I left were covering quite a bit of the filters, so I just removed them. To secure the fans in place, I just put 3 zip ties on and connected a bungee cord in a V shape. The intake port was a bit bigger than the filter itself, so I had to get creative. So I used some pipe insulation to get it to fit snug. They use zip ties to hold it in place. So here it is in its final state. I've already used this guy and it works great. I love the control you have over the overspray. The twin exhaust fans work really well and suck the walls in. I may put on some cross bracing on the center of the side walls to control that a little better. Well, it's all done. I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please hit that like button. And if you really want to do me a favor, come on, you got to hit that subscribe button. Come on. It's right there. Is it there? It's right there. Hit it. Hit it. Boop. I appreciate it. Well, you guys have a great one. I'll see you next time.